Today's big question, what is an IVA? Hey guys, it's Scott here from MoneyNerd, and today I'm going to clear away any confusion and tell you all you need to know about IVAs, which are also known as individual voluntary arrangements. Plus, at the end of this video, I'll be letting you know how to find out if an IVA can write off some of your debt or if it's something that you need to avoid like the plague. Now, perhaps you or someone you know is in debt and they've heard all sorts of stories about IVAs, like they're the miracle cure to get rid of all debt, or on the flip side, they'll destroy your financial future. See, here's the thing. Whilst there's lots of debt solutions out there, good information is sadly quite hard to come by. So today I want to make it super clear to you and give you the cold, hard, unbiased facts. So what are IVAs and how do they work? Well, IVAs were started in 1986 and were designed for people who are struggling to pay back debts but wanted to avoid bankruptcy. They're a legally binding agreement between you and your creditors to pay back a set amount for 5 years or in one lump sum. The idea is that the amount that you pay back is smaller than the debts you actually owe. They were initially set up for people with debts relating to business insolvency. However, nowadays there's so many types of debts and they're just used for people who want to protect the most important assets, like their home, for example. Just as a side note, under bankruptcy, you are more likely to be forced to sell your home or your assets to pay off your debts. That's a lot less likely to happen with an IVA. So how do IVAs work exactly? And is it really possible to pay back less than your creditors? Well, before you can get an IVA, you'll need to qualify. They're not appropriate for everybody, and in fact, they're only really worthwhile for a small number of people. But they're worth understanding, especially if you do qualify. I'll link a video that shows you how to work out if an IVA is actually something worth pursuing or if it's something that you need to avoid. But the basics are this. You need to meet the following criteria. You need to be unable to pay back your current debts. You need to have more than £5,000 worth in debt. You need to owe more than 2 creditors. You'll need an income, and you'll need to live in England, Wales, or Northern Ireland. There's more to qualifying than that, so do check out the other video after this one, but that's the basics. And of course, just because you do qualify for it doesn't mean that it's a good idea for you. But let's assume that you do qualify and you think it is a good idea for you. Well, you'll need an insolvency practitioner to determine which type of IVA you should go for. There's 2 types of IVAs. The first is where you pay off your debts in one big lump sum. That option is only available to a very small number of people who can actually pay back a large amount in one go, but can't afford the monthly ongoing repayments. The second is where you agree to pay back a fixed amount for 5 or 6 years. For the second type, your insolvency practitioner will look at your income and expenditure and calculate what you can realistically pay towards your debts each month. This is a very important note as it can be a painful process. It's the practitioner's job to take away what they deem to be unnecessary expenses and help you work out how much you can afford to pay back. In most cases, you'll have to stop all non-essential expenditures. This can mean things like your Netflix subscription or mobile phone contracts. If you do own a home, you may be asked to remortgage and pay off some of your debts using that equity. So whilst your home is protected and you won't be asked to sell it, you may still have to pull money out of it. Once your monthly repayment has been agreed, you'll be able to enter into the IVA. Now you'll be expected to make a monthly repayment into your IVA for a full 5 years. The idea is that even including the expenses of the insolvency practitioner, in total you'll still pay back less than you currently owe. You'll probably see the figure pay back 80% less or write off 80% of your debt being bandied about by IVA companies. While it is true that the odd person is able to pay back up to 80% less than they owe, this is truly not the norm. If you're finding this video useful, please hit that like button to support the channel. Now, the obvious question if you're in debt is, should you get an IVA? Well, the answer sadly isn't a simple yes or no. If you check out other IVA videos on YouTube, you'll probably see 2 main things. Firstly, people with horror stories about IVAs, or people that are so positive about them, they might as well be selling them. Now here's the hint, they probably are selling them if they're being that positive about them. So as I've said from the start, I'm taking an unbiased look. The truth is that for some people, IVAs are a terrible solution, but for a select group, they're extremely helpful. The key is having the knowledge to know if your specific situation is a good fit for an IVA. So if you want to learn more about IVAs, I've done a series of videos where I do a deep dive. The next video is 5 reasons why you should get an IVA, which I'll link here and in the description, so click that now and find out the main benefits of an IVA. Tomorrow I'm publishing a video that looks at all of the bad things to watch out for when it comes to IVAs, so hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you in the next one.